Round of 16. Maru. RagnaroK. SOS. Zoun. 2021 GSL Season 2. Code S. Africa TV. Freak Up Studio Live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
It's now time to eliminate one of the two players in the losers match of Group C. RagnaroK versus Zoun. RagnaroK, of course, a very storied player in GSL history, one where he has not gotten to the final form he hopes to be. And I don't know if he's going to win this match. I think Zoun is looking newer, more modern, and I think just a little bit sharper overall than RagnaroK.
Yeah, I've liked him a lot more recently, but RagnaroK is in pretty darn good shape overall. He showed some good games against Maru. And I think it is possible, like, again, if he plays like his best StarCraft, he actually can beat everybody in the tournament, right? Like, that's, I truly believe that his best StarCraft can hang with everybody. But
I agree. I think you're right.
It's to keep your StarCraft at that level, so that's very tough. Also, I gotta say, if Zoun goes for adept builds, which he mixes in a bit too much, I think, that's where RagnaroK can maybe just pick up a quick victory.
You could be right, Artosis. I think RagnaroK is extremely strong, but at times extremely sloppy. If he has clean play in the late game, I think he'll be fine, but you could be correct. If Zoun missteps at all early on, I think RagnaroK could punish, and punish hard at that. We're now in the lobby. The game has started up. Guys, this is RagnaroK versus Zoun. The loser is out of the GSL, and the winner will go on to face off against Maru. Not the opponent you'd want to face off in this situation, as SOS is already advanced.
Alpha X. RagnaroK. Alpha X. Zoun.
Battle of the Alpha X's.
Oh my God.
So Animal Crossing,
But
and
that's
a Shy Guy match.
Is that what they're called? Shy Guys? I was trying to think of the word for those.
Yeah. Mario 2, great game.
Excellent game. I never beat Mario 2, now come to think of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, that's weird. I beat this, let's see, Mario 1, Mario 3. Mario 3 a couple times, the best one. Super Mario World beat. Yeah, I guess I never beat Mario 2.
That's funny.
But you know, in Japan, the Mario 2 that we know in the West is actually not a Mario game in Japan. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's some other thing, but I think they thought because Mario was, I guess, so popular.
I think Mario 2 in Japan is what they call like Mario Lost Levels here or something like that.
I think you're correct.
Or here, I say here, I'm in Korea. But yeah, here being where I was in my childhood when I knew this fact originally.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, because all those characters in Mario 2 were not, there was some incongruency with the other Mario games, but I guess they're back in the newer Marios now.
But honestly, it's very similar. Mario 2 is actually more similar to the newer Mario games than it is than the old Mario games are to these Mario games, because I actually still play like every Mario game because my kids love Mario games.
What's the most recent one? It's also because you're a huge nerd, Artosis. Artosis is like trying to get defensive about his nerdness on the GSL. It's just because my kids play this and I also, you know.
Well, my girlfriend likes it when I beat Mario games, so that's like why I do it. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know which one is technically the newest one.
The one that was on Switch,
right now
I beat that.
Yeah. There's like a lot of them on Switch right now, actually.
Oh, is there another one that came out?
Yeah. There's so many, and ones are getting remastered and stuff. It's anyways. I like Mario games. They're good. All right, Stargate opener. Like to see it. I really do. I am afraid of any Protoss that's still going for adept builds. So.
Oh, I think we adepts have to go out of style for a little bit. There's been too much reliance, I think, for way too long with the depths. And I know that Protoss don't have a lot of options, but, you know, it's definitely something that started out strong, and Zergs just deal with it, no problem.
Void Ray coming out. Now, I mean, there's so many different little branches you can do here. You can go for lots of Void Rays. You can go for one Void Ray,
right.
2, 3. You know, you can go Void Ray Oracle. You can go a couple Oracles. Obviously, the one Void Ray is like very, very common, so that you can remove all the Overlords, and it kind of keeps you safe for that third base. But yeah, there's so much flexibility with where you can go from this. I personally think that some of the slightly heavier, like I like the 2 Stargate Void Ray, like 3rd Nexus 2 Stargate Void Ray into Storm into carriers. I think that's a really great one. But yeah, I mean, we'll just see what Zoun wants to do. A little bit of a Zergling run in here, but obviously he's not going to find any damage.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no holes in what Zoun is doing. There's no way to really punish.
Good to check, though, and he gets some good intel there. Okay, second Stargate. There it is. So, but we don't know yet. Okay, +1 air attack. This, it could be Phoenix. It could be Void Ray. I think it's going to be Voids, but...
I think it's going to be Voids. I think you're probably right. I'd be surprised if it's Phoenixes.
Some people... It has come back a little bit, the 2 Stargate Phoenix.
Now, whenever you see a Void Ray roaming, you know that they could just be diving into Stargate tech, but you don't know for sure. And it is going to be Void Rays, by the way. But this is like teching into Stargate play with nothing really behind it. Or maybe I should say nothing in between it. Like, you don't have a couple gateway units coming out or any kind of pressure or a robo or anything.
Yeah, it's just like you make the Void Rays and then you can figure out where you want to go from there. And it's like you can go into Charge, you can go into High Templars, you can go into both. He is making the Twilight. I'm actually interested to see if he's going to go aggro with this or macro with this. Because if you go like Storm right away, that's a very different direction than getting Charge +1 attack and just throwing down 8 gates. And both can be extremely strong. Yeah, he adds a couple more gases. This makes me lean towards he's going to go for that more controlling play of getting Psystorm. There's the Charge. There's the +1. See if he throws down Twilight. Or Temple Archives, rather. Decent scouting going on. Robo coming up.
So I like this kind of very different approach to the matchup in general. Like, I think this is... We've seen Protoss is kind of messing with this, especially in the first season. But I think there's just so much to it. It's such a different way to approach the game. So much of PvZ the last couple of years is about trying to go for the knees of the Zerg.
Yes.
You know, to try to trip them up and basically the preventative measures that had to pay off or you were behind. And I think this is a much smarter, kind of retracted way to approach the matchup where you can kind of sit there and tech up and say, do something about it to the Zerg. And the Zerg really can't do that much. But it does seem to be, you know, one of these techs where it's like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Like, if you really lose all your whole air tech, you have nothing.
Yeah,
you know, so
you definitely cannot just be throwing away Voids.
Right. But he's filling it in with a couple gates in the back, and he's actually stopped producing more Void Rays. I was wondering, because we've seen the style where they just keep going, like it just doesn't end, the air tech. But now he's basically got, you know, a pretty good kind of destructive force of Void Rays, but behind it, he's going to have the army to actually take a more standard PvZ fight. So this is kind of a cool tech. I like what we're seeing here from Zoun.
He's actually re-adding in Void Rays after the tech. So he's going double Robo and Support Bay, and I want to see if this is going to be Colossi. And he's got a lot of gateways. There's a possibility we see like the very, very old tech of Void Ray Colossus here. That would be wild. Okay, it is going to be Disruptors. That makes a bit more sense because Corruptors kind of counter everything at that point. And you're going to have to make sure you have a lot of Archons in that case, and that's like stretching it a bit then. A couple drop Overlords being added in as well. This is a very interesting back and forth here.
Yeah, I'm liking the way this game's developing. Here comes a Nidus network already.
Yeah, and with 2 drop Overlords mixed in as well, that's doubly strange. What are we going to be seeing here? Nidus drops Corruptors. He's got a good amount of queens right now. 13 queens and 15 links. His army is so funny. Look at that army.
I have no idea where this is going to go, man.
It's like really an Archon and 2 High Templars beats his army.
Yeah.
Think about that. Feed back a few queens, make a second Archon, you just run through this thing, man. No problem.
All right, let's see how this actually works. This is so funny.
Oh, man. Disruptors can't hit Corruptors, right? Okay, so okay, this is amazing. He's dropping 8 queens in front of a Nidus in the main base with mass Corruptor in here. This is one of the most insane things I've ever seen, but with the Disruptors? Oh my god.
Okay, the Disruptor shots are insane. Again, queens off creep are the easiest thing in the game for a Disruptor to target. The Void Rays are blasting down the Corruptors, and this strategy isn't looking like a viable idea at all so far. Like, every part of the Protoss army is basically better. The Nidus network is just obliterated.
It was one of the coolest ideas I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, we never really casted anything quite like that, so I was ready to be impressed by what RagnaroK did, and then it backfired so poorly.
What was he going to send through the Nidus? He had like 50 lings, and that was it. So, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, the Disruptors did a great job there. Yeah, very, very strange game so far, but very exciting as well. Just so many different ideas coming into play. Wow, there you go.
This is so weird.
Yeah. Well, you want to get something done with them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that point in time, they don't have any other function, right? Unless you turn these into Broodlords, so it's just kind of funny to be like, can I? No, I can't. So the push is coming. I mean, there's a decent amount of supply that's wasted on Corruptors here. Maybe there'll be a Warp Prism he could shoot down Arto's ass.
Yeah, maybe. He's going up towards Hive, so Broodlords are not out of the question in the long term. He's got a good drone count.
Where are these Disruptors?
Right there. Pulls back. Hard to hit lings with those, but his army is
being morphed here. These would be great targets for the Disruptors. And they just completely silence any production there. This is just...
Oh.
This might be game. I mean, the Banelings, I feel like a lot of them weren't even canceled. They were just outright killed.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what RagnaroK thought he was going to do, but it did not...
Nothing
good.
Worked for him here.
Yeah,
that is certain.
I feel like this doesn't look like a game from 2021. This looks like a game in the first few years of StarCraft. We were still figuring it out. GG, Zoun.
I think. Okay, yeah, that was like super one-sided, and I think Zoun played like very well.
Yeah,
there was like a lot of flow with what he was doing. It all made sense together. But I actually want to give RagnaroK some props. It's hard to do, but. The 8-queen drop in front of the Nidus will block Void Rays from blocking your Nidus.
Yeah, no, the idea is interesting, but the problem is that even when the Nidus gets up, you don't actually have anything to fight. That's what's funny about it. Like, the strategy to get the Nidus to safety is kind of ingenious until you realize you don't have anything you can send through it that's going to win.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, the Disruptors, I think, really... It's like when you're chunking off 3 queens at a time, it's a little bit... difficult to make this work out as well. I don't know. It was really cool to see, and I would like to see that experimented with more and brought back to us.
We're going to go to GSL Oblivion for Game 2. Zoun has the 1-0 lead for now.
Tasos, I feel like I'm on Shark Tank, and I'm like, I like the idea of your build, RagnaroK, but I'm not going to invest in your company.
RagnaroK's nervously trying to explain his whole idea of queen drops with Nidus networks, but then we drop the bomb question of like, so then what comes out of the Nidus? And he starts to stammer. It's a pyramid scheme.
What would a pyramid scheme look like in StarCraft 2?
I don't know. Some lovely fan art here in the studio.
Yeah. Oh, we're on Oblivion. Sick. A bit of a hatchery block. Very pretty on this side of the map.
Okay, so I think 100% RagnaroK is not and cannot do anything like what he did in that last game. But it does seem like for RagnaroK and perhaps for some of these Zergs, some of this hyper-passive Stargate tech, you know, maybe they don't quite have the answer for it. Especially when you see a game like that.
The thing is, when they go to Stargate Void Ray, if they're actually producing them and like adding some gateways on, I don't think that there is actually a build that stops that. Like, you just have to go towards the late game, and I think like he was looking for something that could end it before Carrier Psystorm is what it looked like to me, right? Like, maybe if it was, maybe in this game, if it is triple Stargate Void Ray with slightly later other tech, maybe his build crushes that, right? But it's hard to get in there and figure that out because the Void Rays are on patrol. So it's like, it's a, you know, it's a tough one to figure out, but it feels like that's what he was going for, because we've seen people try to do all-ins against these Void Ray openers, and for the most part it holds on as long as they kind of figure out what you're up to. Yeah,
as long as they're there to answer.
But that was so fresh that maybe that's like something in practice. He's like, yeah, I can kill a Void Ray build. But it was like the speed, like you even mentioned, you're like, oh, he's stopped the Void Rays. And like he even got the +1, so it looks like he's going to continue Voids, but he went like 5 Voids, Robo, Disruptor Tech, went into his gates, and then went back into Voids, which kind of had everything a bit quicker than I think RagnaroK was ready for with that.
You know, I didn't actually see, but did he scout the gates coming?
No, he couldn't really get anything in, honestly.
He might have been surprised by all this gateway tech there as well. He might have thought all he had to do, like he was going to only fight an air army and it's just queens and just corruptors. And then he would lose, but then when there was like, you know, disruptor shots, he's like, oh god.
Yeah, he was fighting against like 3 rounds of units.
Yeah, no, it was like
and 3 disruptors. If there's no disruptors and 2 rounds of units, but there's also 5 more voids, maybe his build can do that.
Maybe that's actually what happened back there. He thought he was countering something that wasn't actually happening.
That's what it feels like, but I don't know. I don't want to dive too deep there. It's just kind of like a guess as to that. But anyways, enjoyable. I like seeing fresh stuff.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's kind of the beauty and the amazingness of StarCraft is like, it's endless. It's endless.
Well, that's what makes RTS so good is the sandbox element of, you know, you have these, first of all, a lot of different maps, but then all these different ways that you can approach it, different units, and they all interact with each other differently, and there's imperfect information, and you can, even if you're scouted, you can choose to not use the tech you're doing or cancel. I mean, there's so much to it.
Yeah.
This is why, and I'm not just saying this and shilling it up because this is a StarCraft show, this is why when we talk to pros from other games, they all agree StarCraft is the hardest game.
Yeah.
This is like just a fact.
That's for sure.
But it also is why I think this makes for a good esports viewing experience. And also, honestly, I think it makes for, you know, something that, well, this is why all esports are watched, is because it started with StarCraft. This was like a model that was proven as like, oh, this is actually viable. This is interesting. People can get into it if they have a little bit of knowledge about the game. And I still think it's more viewable than most esports, even if it's not the most viewed.
Oh, it definitely is, yeah. You don't have to actually play the game to watch it, which is nice. Kind of easy to have a big esport when you got millions of people playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a Glaives build, but it's a 3 Nexus Glaives. I don't like Glaives builds anymore, but like this is like a very different flavor to it, so I'm willing to try it out.
You're willing to try it out?
I'm willing to try it out.
Hey, everybody, Artosis is willing to try it out.
I need an adept safe word, though. Okay?
The adept safe word is poodle, okay?
Okay, if I say
when
poodle,
he needs to
get his other tech.
Yeah. The adepts are blocked, and the shade will be canceled. The glaives are 10 seconds out from finishing. But where do you go? I mean, again, really the adept's power is in the fact that it can maneuver to places that a lot of times the Zerg can't catch up to. But right now, the barricade is up, and the adepts are outside, and what I think is a pretty easy situation.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything, but like I think that's all he made. He like actually hasn't even, there you go, he finally shows you that he actually has claves. I mean, this is okay, you know? Clear out some lings and whatnot. What?
Oh my god, I thought he was going to finish that.
Dude, yeah, that would have been not so good. Nice little shade in over here. Look, this is, I like this. I like this. I think that this was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and he's like, he's removed a bit of creep, he's killed a few drones, he hasn't really overcommitted on this, he has a third base up, he's making immortals and getting blink. It all seems all right. Like, he's gonna need to hold on when RagnaroK comes across the map, because RagnaroK should be coming across the map.
Yeah, I think the idea of it kind of being a half-hearted adept play is not that bad. You know, get Zerg to react to it and then, you know, build up behind it.
Yeah. Really, look at the worker count. 65 to 70. Zoun in the lead there.
Yeah, and 6 gates are finishing. He's going to have some pretty robust production.
He is. His unit composition is not like going to be the best, but it's enough that I don't think he's going to die to RagnaroK. Not anytime soon, at least. I think he's going to go into Disruptor here with Blink Immortal, which is obviously amazing against Roach Ravager, but looks like very likely we're going to see Lurkers come into play, which is still good against that, but then you're going to need to get into Vipers and, yeah, back and forth, back and forth. So, I mean, this game probably should go into... I mean, I'm like... it doesn't feel like either of them are going to be able to kill each other is what I'm trying to get through here.
I think that you're probably correct on that. And I'm glad this is not a game that looks like the last game. That was like an experiment that we never need to try again.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a slight opportunity here with Vipers to pull enough Disruptors that you're able to run him over with Lurker, Roach, Ravager.
And if you can poke out the 4th base and grow again, I think that'd be a pretty healthy lead here. Yeah. We're ramping up to max out here for the Zerg, so I think it's about time for the attacks in. He's like, Void Rays, I've been hurt before. I'm damaged goods.
Everybody is. Even Protoss players.
Okay, so the creep is reaching out towards that Nexus, and that should be the point of conflict in this game.
Yeah, a little bit of zoning going on, but it looks like we are going to just have RagnaroK walk up towards this base. Aggressive blink forward here, but I think a very good one. Ah, utilizes those Adepts again. Looks like they'll be caught, but not a bad idea. Gotta appreciate what he's trying. You want to trade those out anyways. They're not going to really help out anymore. The first Lurker's coming in. And, yeah, Hive is done, so we should see some Vipers pop out pretty quickly here.
Yeah, nice force fields, honestly. It was pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Getting those Immortals away.
Definitely.
We're teching up into those Lurkers.
If we don't see Vipers, then the Disruptors are actually going to start screwing up everything.
Well, I think you're right, Artosis, especially against Lurkers.
Yeah.
I mean, Disruptors are sort of the organic counter to Lurkers, right? I mean, it's the range and... Oh, dude! The Immortals just die!
Yeah. A little bit.
That was a
bit of a mess up
big
there.
mistake. Was it worth it to try to micro that Void Ray around the hatchery that was never going to kill it? Okay, so he's going to push it anyways, but again, he's
Good
down. He does get some of those Lurkers. Again, I still would have liked to have some Immortals in there. Immortals really give you the staying power. Oh my god! I can't believe these Disruptors are going to get away.
Ooh, that was a good hit right there. He's trying to get around him right now with those lings. He kind of body blocks him a little bit.
Yeah, Zoun, I'm kind of blown away that he actually got through there, and you know what? I was wrong. That Void Ray did enough damage that then the rest of the army could clean that up, so what do I know?
Yeah. Okay, so Vipers are out now, so he can definitely fight against the Disruptors a bit better. It looks like Zoun is staying on this type of composition, even just added in some Adepts again, so probably going to try to shade those in for some damage. He actually has 11 Adepts. Kind of interesting.
Okay, gets the kill there.
Nice. Good control. Good control. All right, now we get the real dance. And we get to see if if Zoun is going to actually tech up at all.
Do you see an observer? I actually don't. Oh, no, there is one. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah. Okay, so...
It's invisible Tasteless. He's not allied.
So I'm not a detector, so I couldn't see it. So, yeah, I mean, he is just in range of basically chipping away. I'm surprised the drones haven't been pulled yet. Oh my God. Okay, so great harpoons there from those Vipers. And this is what Artosis was mentioning earlier on.
There you go. There you go. You're cleaning him up. And he hasn't teched out of this. He's just now, as the Vipers are first coming in, it looks like he's going to get into carriers from here. But you also need to get into Templars.
Yeah.
Like, the Vipers counter everything except for High Templars, I guess.
It is pretty...
And they counter those too.
It's pretty shocking how slow Zealots are without charge in the late game. It's like the slowest thing there is.
It's kind of funny he doesn't have charge.
Just started. I think he didn't upgrade it or something.
He just forgot.
This was it didn't make moment. Oh! Actually gets that other disruptor, but 2 more coming in here. Oh!
Yeah, some sick hits. Cool game right now. The Adepts actually doing some serious work.
Oh, the Adepts actually shade into a spot that's not good. But
yeah, not as good
honestly, the harass has been pretty impressive. I mean, keep in mind, it's 4 base to 4 base right now.
This roaming is so impressive.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5 base, but this base is going to be killed. That's what I meant. But, like, if he just keeps him down on 4 bases, that's all you need to do.
I tell you, I love the style we're seeing out of Zoun this game.
Me too.
He's just, it looks so fun to play and everything, and so annoying for Zerg to try to deal with. I think the Vipers were just slightly late here, but as he continues to charge them up, like, he can kind of stabilize. Like, this looks really good, but I don't think that this can last forever. You're not going to kill him with Blink Disruptor. And if you do, you really deserve that win. Okay, does a recall.
Okay, that those lurkers definitely forced a relocation there. Now, RagnaroK is gearing up for a forced attack up here. Is this going to work, though? Oh, ooh, God.
Yeah, good hits there.
Yeah, he has enough disruptors. If he can, you know, get a few more shots out, I think he can clean this up. Okay, nice, nice usage of the Vipers there. Okay, this base goes down. RagnaroK impressing me here.
A little bit of a charge lock counter attack.
Yeah.
Gets slowed down a lot by those
Zealots are, pinballing around, trying to get into an area that has any value where they can hit. So they kill the Queen, and, you know, not bad. He gets the Zerg off his back. I don't know if he has enough damage to actually kill this. I don't think, yeah, it's saved in the very end.
Kind of has garbage upgrades on his ground army.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now,
just the +1.
These armies are going to go around each other. Zerg's so caught up in taking a 5th, isn't ready to defend his 4th now. And this actually could be very bad here for RagnaroK. We need to get these Vipers over here. But he does snipe down both of the Vipers, giving a lot more freedom to these disruptors. And I think Zoun can kind of pick and choose where he wants to fight here. Again, one good disruptor shot, and the game really gets Protoss' favor here. The lurkers are going to come up. Good targeting. He kites back. He's got an Immortal with this mix. He doesn't have to fight him if he doesn't want to. He can always try to attack and chip away at the space down here. Here we go. The Zerg coming forward.
Okay, good bait there from RagnaroK. Dodges that very, very well. Almost dodges there.
This is one of those
damage, though.
moments where it's like, I don't know how hard it is to actually control this if it's all under one hotkey. You know what I mean? He does end up getting the disruptors over here. The targeting's pretty good, and ultimately, the Zerg wins that fight. But Immortal's coming down here on the left side of this fight.
Yeah, look at that. They are kind of walking through all of this.
The Observer wasn't placed well, so they ended up eating a lot of lurker shots. And there's just enough Hydras that the carriers are chased away. Now, okay, we got some Zealots sitting over here. Still, though, again, 4 base to 4 base.
Yeah. There's actually more and more carriers coming out, and it's really interesting to see that he's just skipping the Templar tech altogether here. Because I do feel like we can get a composition together for RagnaroK that this is not going to fight well against, right? Re-add in your Vipers. You have some Hydras in here now as well.
Okay, yeah, he's going to have to recall those. Looks like all the carriers actually survive. What is over here to help fight? Oh, man. Big whiff with that one disruptor.
All right, yanks it in. Couple of them. Gonna target it down. Okay, gonna get both of them. More carriers coming out.
RagnaroK may actually take this. No?
Well, this, I think he's not going to win right here. But he needs to take some more bases and everything too.
Yeah, it seems like, in fact, Zoun has like just barely enough that this isn't going to work out. There's just enough carriers and just enough other units like Zealots
It seems
to
like
draw the fire away.
I think Zoun did just enough with everything else that he had throughout the game.
I think you're
right.
right.
He has this tempo advantage right now that is allowing him with a slightly inferior composition to keep going and keep. It's hard for RagnaroK to, like.
That's it. He just taps out.
That was actually, I think that was very, very close.
I think our observer didn't quite catch it as well as what actually happened. No disrespect to the observer, of course, but I mean, it was a very kind of masterful game from Zoun where he just was hitting enough spots.
Yeah.
And
he just had enough damage going on that he could play like this and not actually get to supreme late game, where RagnaroK would have had a bit of breathing room to get himself together, get himself collected. That was an awesome game though. Very, like, Zoun dictated 90% of that game.
And look, RagnaroK, I think he's a great player, but it's very clear why he's not going to advance today. He just doesn't quite have that clean style.
Well, yeah, we're going to see if he can fight back here and maybe take the next game. Zoun, though, I mean, I really like that, like the 3-base Adept Glaives and just kind of, yeah, I don't know, the whole thing fit together very, very well. Both games, we saw very coherent strategies.
We're going to go to a break, guys. When we come back, Maru versus Zoun. Don't go away.